Hey everyone, Sports Talk Bears, like and subscribe, and let's talk about this. It's not breaking news, but Jalen Johnson just did a complete 180, and he's saying he now wants to sign a contract and be a Chicago Bear moving forward. That's fantastic, but what is really happening here? There's two reasons this decision by him and how the Bears respond are things we need to watch closely. The first reason is what is done here may telegraph what Chicago plans to do in the draft. I'm not trying to make a rah-rah show about Justin Fields. Just listen to a little of this interview on 670 The Score that Johnson did, and I'll tell you why this is important. So check this out. Listen to this.
He's our quarterback. Like, we believe in Justin. We've seen Justin play at a high level. It's not like we just have a quarterback that we just see and just like, nah, he's not it. Like, no, he's a guy to me that checks a lot of the boxes. And it's just like, we're only going to gel closer together. We're only going to defend him. We're only going to pump him up. We're only going to put what we have into him because he's our guy. He's the guy in the locker room. He's the guy that makes plays. He's the guy that leads us. He's the guy that takes everything on, in a sense, onto the chin. Like, if it's somebody who will step up further, say it's his fault, it's him. So, I mean, there's no better, I feel like, reason for us to go to bat with our quarterback than what we have in our locker room and what Justin has done for us and our team.
So, what the Bears do, I believe, is closely tied to this specific contract. If you watch the whole interview and read between the lines, Jalen's saying that there will be huge issues in the locker room, especially with the defense, if QB1 is not there next year. Johnson is leading that charge now, the charge for Justin Fields to stay. Polls, he dug in his heels during negotiations earlier in the year. Jalen Johnson and the Bears were unable to find common ground on a long-term contract extension. That stalemate, it led to Johnson asking for and being granted permission to seek a trade at the deadline. Now Johnson wants to play ball. Watch for something here. I think if this contract gets done immediately, that telegraphs that Fields is their guy moving forward. And we can look forward to the Bears trading that number one or taking Harrison Jr. If that doesn't, negotiations stall, even a franchise tag starts being talked about, that means Fields may be traded. We're taking Caleb Williams, and the coaching staff then needs to change as well. A lot of dominoes will fall. Johnson is so vocal, and he leads support of Fields on the defensive side at this point. At this point, Poles can't risk having a mutiny on that side of the locker room. If Fields is leaving, having Johnson there might be poison. Now, that might sound a little dramatic, but it definitely won't be great. I think this puts Poles in a tough position as well for a different reason. Poles absolutely loves this player. No deal materialized. No deal came to pass on a trade because the Bears GM was unwilling to lower his asking price for the 24-year-old. He's a top-tier corner. When other teams came calling, here's what Poles had to say at the time. I don't want to lose Jalen Johnson. This was said after the trade deadline. If I were to lose Jalen Johnson, I would like to have a high percentage of hitting on another Jalen Johnson, which to me is a late first and into early second round pick. Really simple there. That did not happen. We're still open to getting a contract done. These guys want to be together. And I think if a contract is signed quickly, it's more of an indication that Fields is staying. Reason number two is a little nicer. Reason number two to watch this, it's simply just encouraging. Jalen Johnson, he saw something we all see. Poles is putting something together that you don't see often. The Bears are just a few pieces away on offense, maybe some coaching adjustments. Johnson wants to be a part of something special, just like we all do. When a player sees this in this way, making a business decision based on his own eye test, that's the most encouraging sign as fans we could ever have. I think by announcing this publicly, Johnson is telling Poles he will meet Poles closer to his original valuation. There'll be no other reason. There would not be a reason to show this love publicly because it actually takes away a lot of Jalen Johnson's leverage. I want to make sure we're clear on the player we would be signing. You guys know he's good, but let's just look at this. The fourth-year defensive back, he's the number one PFF graded cornerback. He's become a key leader on a rising defense that has generated at least 3 takeaways in their last 4 games. Per Pro Football Focus, Johnson ranks first in passer rating allowed, first in yards allowed, first in yards per reception, second in receptions allowed, third in reception percentage among quarterbacks with at least 400 coverage snaps. This is a long, convoluted way of saying this is a shutdown corner that we can lock down. Poles is going to keep him, I think. Johnson did absolutely everything he was asked. He was fully bought in. He didn't hold out over the summer. A lot of players would have, but Johnson did not. He did everything. I think we get a contract extension done right after the season. Fields stays and the contract Johnson signs. I think what he signs is for a little less than market. Poles assigns value to a player and sticks with it. Remember the situation with Roquan? Granted, he took it to the media and Poles doesn't respond well to that, but Poles would not budge on the value he placed on Roquan, and when his bluff was called, he had no problem shipping him out. Might sound cold-blooded, but that's why Poles is a great GM, and we likely won't find ourselves in cap difficulty because of bloated contracts. Let me know what you think. Let's keep the conversation going. Bear down, and I will talk to you soon, friends. See ya.